got a day. How are you? How are you? I hope the video is working. We have been having some major technical issues and so sorry we're late. Let me put this out of the way. Don't you love my festive mask? This is one that I put in one of my wreaths. It's so pretty. But welcome to my wreath shop. As you come in, comment below and tell me where you're from and what are you doing, and are you getting snow? Are you snowed in? What's the weather like? Here we're waiting for snow. I'm sorry, what? Okay. I thought the hubs was saying, wait, we've lost connection again. Okay. So welcome, and come in, make a comment below and tell me what you're doing today on this Thursday. So one more day of the Christmas season. Christmas season ends tomorrow. Pretty sure if my math is correct. And yeah, I think 12th night is tomorrow. So then people will be decorating for a Mardi Gras, or maybe you have already. If anybody that's joining me right now would do me a huge favor and share this in one of the Learn Deco Mesh Wreaths group for me, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. I'm scared to touch anything with my iPad or the phone. We had some major technical issues. Today we're making lantern swags, Mardi Gras lantern swags. Isn't this really pretty? Let me see if I can get things turned so that you can see it. We've got, this is a really good seller in my Etsy shop, and I thought today I would show you my secrets for making it. It's not really a big secret, but maybe you'll enjoy it. If you're new to the video and to my page, I want to welcome you. I'm Julie Samaco with Southern Charm Wreaths, where we make beautiful wreaths and teach you how to make and sell them. I'm also a business coach and mentor to creative entrepreneurs through my Success Circle membership group. And new this year, I also teach people how to make wreaths with my Wreath Making of the Month Club. Yay! So that's been fun. Let's see. All right, so this is what we're going to be making. So let me put this out of the way. And stay tuned, because today in this video, I'm going to be announcing the winners of... remember, for my birthday, I was giving away memberships to both the Wreath Making of the Month Club and the Success Circle membership group. So stay tuned for that, because I'm going to announce it, the winners, and I'm also going to post it in here, okay? And if you could please just bear with me, I'm trying to get over a cold, and I hope I don't cough up a lung here on Facebook Live. That would not be pretty. Hi, April. Hi, Diana. Hi, Kay. Hi, Shirley. Oh, we got a couple of Shirleys. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Gladys. Thank you, Gladys, for sharing. Yay, thank you so much. All right, I'm just going to get started real quick. Again, I feel a little out of sorts, because when you have technology issues and then you're running late to begin with, it just kind of throws everything in a tailspin. All right, so let me find my wire cutters. And do you decorate your home for Mardi Gras? Do you guys celebrate where you're from? How much do you decorate? Comment and tell me. All right, so what we're going to use, I've got these really pretty, I guess they're poinsettias. They look like they've got a little more leaves on them than a normal poinsettia, but I'm going to say it's a poinsettia. And it's, some of the leaves are beaded, and some are sequins, and some are glittered. But isn't that just pretty? Let me make sure you can see it. Isn't that really pretty? So I've got one of these I'm going to use. Let me take off all the tags. And I'm going to go ahead, actually, I think I'm going to get this out of the way for just a sec. I'm going to go ahead and cut the leaves off of the stem But don't throw these away. We're going to use these. All right, so I've got that. And then I've got these sequined picks. I'm going to cut the tags off of that. So Diana does not celebrate Mardi Gras in her neck of the woods. She wishes, because it's boring. It's boring, apparently. Now remember, I teach you with everything, all the picks that you get, they're shipped from China and they're put in the smallest bags possible. So I always take the time and maneuver things around a little bit to make it, come to life. I'm trying to decide which way I want these to go. So I want them going on all these different directions, okay? Yay, Miss Terry started her first Mardi Gras wreath today. Yay. Hi, Miss Kathy Starrett, my sister. Welcome to the Facebook Live. All right, so I've got this. The other thing I'm going to use are these, it's a bush of ferns, but they're, like heavily glittered. So you've got it all in the really pretty Mardi Gras colors, and I'm just going to cut these off. I'm going to separate this because I don't need anything that big on the lantern swag. And actually, I really need to be making a couple of these for the shop. All right, so cutting those, get those separated. And what else do we need? We need the ribbon, which we've got here. Oh, these. And I've got these little tinsel picks. Aren't these cute? So these are just, just like if you would see an evergreen pick for the Christmas tree. It's just like that, but it's tinsel, and it's in the really festive Mardi Gras colors. Hello, Brooke. Welcome. Welcome, Miss Tammy. All right, so let's get started. We've got to, let's see, I'm going to start layering. All right, the trick to these lantern swags is to layer, all right? I'm going to get a zip tie. You need a couple of zip ties. I feel a little off my game, you guys, because of my illness. I've been fighting it for about a week. So bear with me. All right, so let's see. We need scissors. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is just start layering after I take a drink, drink of water. Thank you, Patricia. Welcome, Virginia. All right, so the first thing I do is I start with the largest piece, which is right here. Now look, see how this came shipped? See how it's a little different, isn't it? Good grief, I'm gonna have to make this a quick one. All right, it's a little squished. You guys, I might have to go get a cough drop. Maybe if the Hubs sees me, he'll save me and come bring me a cough drop. But anyway, you have to open up the petals. You have to take the time and bend some of these petals back to bring the poinsettia to life. And they're heavily beaded, so they're very, sturdy. Sometimes you think they're going to break, but they're not. You just keep pulling them back, petal by petal. Just like this. And see how you just keep opening it up and it makes it real pretty. It comes to life. All right, so now what I've done is I've just put a little bend on the stem right there. and I'm going to put the longest part on the bottom, and I'm going to put it right like that and layer it, okay? But see, now I think that there's a lot of room between the bulk of the flower and the end of the tip of this pick. So I need to fill it in, and that's what I was thinking I would use the ferns for. I want to kind of just layer them. So I'm going to put some behind. I'm going to put one there, and I'll do a gold. One there.
Last one.
Oh, can you open it for me? Thank you so much. Hubs saved the day with a cough drop. Hopefully it'll last. Maybe this will keep me from talking too much. Hubs is like, yeah, fat chance. Alright, so it's a little tricky because this poinsettia is a little on the heavy side. So I want to move the ferns down just a little bit. Alright, let me show you. So I've got the top right here, and I'm moving the ferns down just a hair. Alright. And then I've got the poinsettia that I'm laying right there. And then you could zip tie these all together if you want to. If you have a hard time holding it in your hand. I know some people suffer from arthritis, or for me it's the fat hand syndrome, where my fat fingers just can't hold some stuff sometimes. Alright, and then I've got if you didn't see what I did, I just took the other piece, this one right here, and I put it in going in the other direction. So this is going to be technically the top of the lantern, okay? And this is the bottom of the lantern. And I'm going to put it in the width of my fist plus, I'd say, another inch, because the bows that I'm going to be using are the, what size is this? 4 inch? 4 inch. So I want room for the bow. I think that's all I'm going to put in for this side. I'm not going to put this in yet. I'll probably hot glue that in later. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else I was going to put in here. So now I'm going to zip tie this together. You want to make sure that you're zip tying all of the pieces. The fern, the tinsel pick. Can everybody hear me okay? Hi, Mary Jo. Welcome. And then one more. So I'm going to use 2 zip ties. I can already tell that I didn't get the picks. Those ferns, for some reason, didn't get in there. So let me put that in there, make that a little bit tighter. Linda, these are lantern, they're swags. They're like, you know, like a floral swag that you would hang on a door for Christmas. These are just like mini swags that you hang on side of a lantern. And I call them lantern swags. Well, I mean, I think that's what they're called in the industry. I didn't make up that term. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on those ferns because I'm scared that I didn't quite get them all the way in that zip tie. And we'll let that cool off while we make the bow. Alright, so let me measure this. So this is going to be the base of my the swag, okay? So I'm going to, this is what we're going to put on the bottom. You see how much, you see how it is without the ribbon, but if you lay the ribbon behind it, it adds a lot more of color and fullness. So I'm going to lay that on the bottom. And then I'm going to use my fingers to where right here where I measured it up to. And then I'm going to pinch it. You want to make sure when you're pinching it in your fingers, you're creating pleats. This makes a really pretty loop on your bow. So now I'm going to just eyeball it and try to see how far out I want this to come. Usually I do 12 inches. I'm kind of looking to see what I did before. All right, I'm going to do 12 inches. So what I do is I measure out the 12 inches, wrap it to the back, and then pinch again. And then I'm going to cut, I don't know, is that 5 inches or so? Maybe 6 inches down. All right, I feel like I'm doing everything upside down. So that's going to go there. All right, let me think for this for a minute. I'm going to move this way. All right, now this feels better in my hand. So if you don't have your ribbon the same on both sides, you're going to have to make sure to twist it because you want both of the printed side facing forward. So this is what one loop would look like. So now we're going to add the next loop. I'm going to do this as a 4-inch ribbon. And I'm going to put this loop is going to start where the tail is facing upward. And I'm going to pinch it in my fingers just like that. And now I'm going to measure out the 12 inches. Bring it back around. Push it in my fingers. And then cut off the excess. And then twist. Just like that. No, Melissa, you're right. No matter how hard you try, it's hard to make two exactly alike. All right, now I'm going to keep adding the ribbon and I'm going to alternate. So now I'm going to start the green ribbon going the same direction. I think I'm going to have the tail a little bit longer on this green. And then measure out the 12 inches. And push it in my fingers and then trim it. Sometimes your ribbon collapses on itself. The wire might not be so thick on it and you just fluff it up with your fingers. It's all good. So this is what the bow looks like so far. And if your hand starts to cramp, you can get a chip clip to help hold it in place while you're measuring the next loop. But this loop is going to start where it's coming out of the top. And I'm going to measure out the 12 inches. Push it in and trim. And then twist. Melissa, you've never seen a bow made this way? It's called my funky bow. It's just basically ribbon loops stuck together, or wired together, not stuck. All right, so then I'm going, where did I leave off? I'm going to turn it in this direction. And I'm going to measure again 12 inches. And then trim. And then let me get the ribbon out of the way so I can make some room. Now that we've got a fistful of ribbon, we're going to wire it together. With some florist wire. This is 22 gauge. So turn it over on the back and then you're going to just twist it together. So this bow will work in any type of wreath, Christmas tree, lantern swag like we're doing here, or a regular, you know, regular swag for your door. If you can't twist it very tight, you might want to get some needle nose pliers. This is some really thick ribbon, and I want to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then I'm just going to fluff the bow just a little bit. And now what I want to do on the ends, I want to finish the ends off. I'm going to fold them in half and cut them at a dove in a V shape, and we call that dovetailing. So that's what I'm going to do on all of the ends of the ribbons, and that will just finish it off, make it look real professional. Gladys made a lot of funky bows for Christmas. You go, girl. Hi, Gina. Welcome. Oh, Linda can't join live for some reason. Listen, I was having technology issues myself. The comments are just like flying by. I think because the internet is skipping or something. I could tell the video is a little on the jumpy side. I hope it's working for you guys. And I hope you can hear me all right. It's different, you know, when I do my wreath making of the month video. Oh, speaking of which, this is the wreath I was teaching how to make this month in Wreath Making of the Month Club. But when I film videos for that, I wear a microphone so I can talk without having to worry about people hearing me. And you know how you sometimes you're talking and you get into the zone of making your wreath, and then just talking, and sometimes you're not very clear, because that's why I decided we needed a microphone. So I want to make sure everyone can hear me. But you can't do a microphone on my iPhone from this distance without the cord getting in the way. So I have to remember to speak up. Okay, so let me get this out of the way, and we're going to attach it to our lantern swag that we started. So this is the back of the swag, and I'm going to take the wire and I'm just going to straddle it on top of there, and we're going to attach it. We're just going to wire this in really well. Hold on, I'm trying to see which way I want the ribbons to go. I'm going to put one ribbon on one side of the flower and one ribbon on the other side. Because remember, I want that one long tail to go the length of the swag. So I want that in the back. That's going to go on top. All right. Something feels off with this. I'm going to come up a little bit higher. And then once you like the position, you're going to just wire it very tightly around the back. Okay, Tammy's got it going. She can see me now. Yay! All right, now I'm going to just cut off the excess wire and then push that to the front so it's like wrapping around the back. And this is what we have so far. I'm going to go ahead and trim this stick a little bit. I think I'm going to trim it all the way down because it's getting in the way. You just need to be careful not to cut your picks. You want to cut the excess. So I'm going to trim that. And so this is what we have so far. Yay! And if this ribbon doesn't stay to the back like we want it to, we can just put a little bit of hot glue on the stems and then lay the ribbon on top of it. Sorry, you guys. Oh, my goodness. I'm holding this right here so the glue will stick. Thanks. I'm so happy everybody's helping each other with their questions because I can't even talk. People are asking where are they getting the lanterns and stuff. I've got water, sweetie. Thanks.
It's some warm tea and Theraflu or whatever, like. Or,
oh my gosh, you're awesome. This is what I call service. Ladies, you gotta get one of those. Now watch me spill it all over the place. Let me move this guy back. All right, now that we've got this, we need to attach it to the lantern. Wait, first we need to do that is we need to put the ribbon on there. I mean the wire. I like to use this rustic wire. It's 18 gauge and it's wrapped in a jute so that it looks like it's made out of like grapevine or something, but it's really just wire with jute wrapped around it. I like using that. I'm going to pull off about 23 inches. And we are going to attach this to the swag. Just like that. Now, you're going to want to cover up the zip ties on the back. To do that, you could just hot glue some small leaves. Let me try to see if I can move this down just a tad. There we go. I'm trying to look around and see if I have any small leaves. You could use like an ivy leaf would be a good size, you know, something like that. And you don't have to cover it up. I just like to try to find a small leaf somewhere. Oh, we're just going to put some, I think I'm going to put hot glue on the leaf. And then you just put that over top of your zip ties to cover them up. Don't you just hate colds? Oh my gosh. Last year, I don't know what the deal was. I couldn't stop getting sick. Hopefully, this is not going to be a repeat. You know, they're calling for snow here in South Carolina. I'm hoping it does snow. But it's South Carolina, which means they'll call for it and it won't happen. You watch. Let's see, do I have another leaf? One more leaf. Y'all, my wreath shop is starting to get junky again, messy. I need to start organizing. It's pretty bad when you can't walk in here without tripping over stuff. Hey, Miss Lorianne, welcome. We're making the Mardi Gras lantern swag. Jane, I'm talking like a broken record. Is it your connection or is it my medicine for my cold? All right, so we're gonna just lay that in front of the lantern, okay? So let me show you. A lot of people have a confusion about this part. You see, this is the knob, and I'm not putting it on top. I'm putting it, the bulk of it is gonna be right here, and then lay in front. All right, just like that. If you don't have a knob like this, you know, little knob right here on top, you could attach it to the handle, the corner of the handle, and that will work well too. All right, so then we just twist that on. And let me adjust everything. All right, so at this point is where I like to come back in and fill in with little pieces of, you know, picks or beads or whatever you want to fill it in. So we just do that, we just fluff that around. That looks cute. All right, so this is what we've got. And remember, I've got these leaves that I cut off with the poinsettia at the beginning. So I want to use that. Where's the other one? And then we've got these, we've got the fern that I still want to use some of these. You see the smaller part of the fern, that will look really pretty in the bow. So I'm gonna pull that out. And I've got some of this tinsel, which I think will look pretty too, so I might use some of that. But the first thing I want to do is wire in a mask, because it's not Mardi Gras without a mask. So I'm going to look where I want that. I'm going to put that down here. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here under this flower. Do you see that? So to do that, I'm going to have to punch a hole right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ribbon that comes on the mask. And I'm going to use my hole punch and just punch a hole on the end. And that way I can use wire to wire it on. Through. All right, and so now I'm just going to grab some, this is gold wire. Don't you just love it when wire and tape And everything that you use comes in all these pretty different colors. Now, where did I put my wire cutters? So this is just gold florist wire on a paddle. You could buy that wherever you get regular florist wire. And it comes in red and all these different colors. I've lost my hole. Let me get my glasses on. Here it is. All right, so what I'm gonna do, let me think about this for a second. I don't want 2 pieces of wire coming up, or yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, because this is gonna go up tall. This is gonna go up pretty high on it, so I'm gonna put it just like this. So I've got this wire, this is the mask. And remember, I want it to come right here behind the flower. So I've got to put 1 wire underneath the swag. I find it easier to put all of this stuff on once it's on the lantern, because then you could position it exactly where you want it. If you put it on while it's still like laying on the table and then you put it on there, sometimes it just doesn't fall into place where you want it. So now I'm just going to see where I'm twisting this. You just want to twist that a few times around the stem. No, Janice, you can't. That's the thing, is you can't put a real candle in here when you have a decoration on top, because it gets so hot. You'd have to use a flameless candle, or you could put other like ornaments in there. You don't have to put a candle. Pine cones, beads. Oh, wouldn't that be pretty if you filled it up with beads or tissue paper or something like that? All right, so there's the mask. All right, now what I want to do is go through and attach some of these pieces of the fern inside of the ribbon. First, I'm going to put these. So remember, these are the leaves that we cut off when we first started shaping our flower. And I'm just going to place them around real quick to see where I want them. And then when you like where you want it, you just hot glue it in, and you're going to glue it between the bow loops. And what this is going to do is it's going to fill out some of the bow, add some fullness. So let me turn it. So I put 1 here and 1 here. And it's probably, I know it's hard to see on camera, but believe me, just doing this little bit will make a big difference. And then I'm going to put some of this fern that we cut up. I'm going to put that in. So these little pieces, I'm just hot gluing in between the bow loops. Ow, and try not to get burned. So you can see where I added this one right here, this fern piece, and it kind of blends. So now you've got fern down here and you've got some fern up there. I'm going to put one coming over this side, but I don't want it to be green because I already have a green one right there underneath it. So I'm going to put, where's the purple? I think I'll put a gold. Put the gold one right there. So I'll put the gold right there. Let me see if I have anything else. No, it's too long. All right, so now I'm going to put in more fern. Let's see. I'll do this one. Thanks, Jane. It looks like people are having problems. I hope it's not me. If your fern is too long, you can just cut it short. But all I'm doing is just filling around the bow area with more of the fern. Layering it. Let's see. And then once I get this one on, I'll show you where I've put everything. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Oh, you're welcome, Miss Barbara. Thanks. All right, I think just, where's that little piece? That gold one will be right there on the end. I'm going to put that up at the top. All right, so I've got the first piece of fern right here, but I added some fern right there. And I added a piece right here. And I added this little piece right here, and I'm going to put this one right beside it. But I added a piece of fern right there too. So you see how you just keep adding pieces to help like fill in the bow area, and it looks like one piece, even though really we have, you know, the base of it is one piece, but we've added all these little pieces on top of it, making it real full. Now you could add some beads if you wanted to drape some beads, because I mean it is Mardi Gras. Let's see if I have any. So you could take beads and cut them. And wire these on. I think this might be too short. Let me see. So to do that, you're going to get your paddle wire again and cut off, I don't know, 5 inches of wire. I'm going to twist it around the last bead on the strand. So it's creating a little piece of wire on each end of this strand of beads. And this is just not even a full strand. It's just one that I've cut into thirds. And then I've got one more thing I'm going to add to this. I think will look really cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it first at the top. And I'm just going to wire it around the base, so the stems, okay, of the lantern swag. I know there's no way you would be able to see what I'm doing, but I promise you, I'm twisting the wire around the stem of the swag. And then trim anything. Let me make sure that's tight. And then you're going to trim off the excess. It's real important to make, I have to be real careful when I'm doing my decorations because I want them, they're shipped, so I don't want them to get damaged. So I try very hard to make sure everything is wired and, you know, glued really well. All right, so I've just twisted this just a couple of times. I'm going to trim the wire short. Bend it. Just like that. And I could use the part of the pick to cover up the wire. But since the wire is gold, it looks like it's just part of the decoration. So let me turn that around and show you. So you can see how I added the beads right there. Now you could go back through and do another strand of shorter beads. Let me see if that would look good. So all I did was I just take the beads and then I cut them. So you're making one long strand and then put the wire on. Is everybody following along with me? Okay, Linda's asking what's the best way to ship a lantern, and I don't know. I don't ship lanterns. I just ship the flower arrangement. I make sure to tell the customer that this is a 20-inch lantern so that they know, and I give them the measurements of how long the lantern swag is from top to bottom. And I show them how I attach it, you know, on the back. So if you go to my Etsy shop, I've got one already listed there. southerncharmrees.etsy.com. And I've got this one listed on there. And you can see how I take photos and do the descriptions to make sure that customers know that they're not getting the actual lantern. I'm going to use some needle nose to tighten up the wire a little bit. You can see a lot of a lot of detail, a lot of, you know, work goes into making one of these lantern swags. All right, so now I'm just going to use my hand. Let me see if I can turn it around. I want to see where I want it to fall. So I'm going to just measure it out, and then I'm going to cut it. Let's see. And then I'm going to wire this end. So I've cut off about a 4-inch piece of gold paddle wire, and I'll wrap it around the end, Twist it just a couple of times. I'm going to find a place underneath that fern. And then twist that on. And then I cut off any excess wire with my wire cutters. And I bend the wire to make sure it's wrapped around the stem. So you can see the beads that I added. Do you guys like that? Let's see if yep, it's still working. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like this. If you like these videos, make sure you give me some hearts or something so I know you guys are out there watching. You haven't fallen asleep. Yes, it's a 20-inch lantern. The glue would show up and might not hold good enough. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tammy. Maybe as a conversation you guys were having. Thank you. Thank you. You can order, if you don't want to make this, you can order them from my Etsy shop at southerncharmrees.etsy.com if you wanted to order one. Now, the one last thing that I wanted to do is show you guys is they make these really cute pins. They're mask pins, and they have the so it looks like a miniature version of just a Mardi Gras mask, but it's a pin that you put on your, you know, lapel. Except for the one I pulled out didn't have the pin part on it for some reason. But don't throw this away. Save it. You can always use this stuff. Remember, didn't I teach you that on your wrapping your Christmas presents this year? You can always use this the little stuff that doesn't work out on your wreaths and stuff. Now, if the feathers are starting to look a little wonky, like they might not stick in there very well, you could just pull it out, put some hot glue on it, and put it back on. Let's see. This one looks a little bit better. So can you guys see that on the video? So you see how it's a pin? It's got a little lapel pin on the back, and it's a mask, and it's got feathers coming out of the top of it. It's real cute. It's got a glittered face. So I'm just going to unpin it, and I'm going to find some place on the ribbon to pin it to. So this is just another layer of detail. So I've just pinned it to the top. Let's see, where did I pin it? Right here, if you can see this. Let me see if you guys can see it. The video's got to update just a little bit. Cute. All right, Andrea's wanting one like this for Easter. Okay, it's looking cute on the video. So you guys liked this? So this is it. This is the lantern swag. I mean, my gosh, you could keep going on and on, couldn't you? Especially for Mardi Gras, because it's just so over the top. So elaborate. But you can use the same version and do an Easter swag, a Valentine's, you know, any holiday that you wanted to do one for, but you could do that. Let me see if I can put it up just a little bit closer. Now, if you guys would do me a huge favor and share this video, that would be awesome. That is my tip jar for letting everybody know about me, and it helps to put it on your news feed so that you can find it. But before we go, remember I wanted to announce the winners of the contest. Drum roll, Mr. Mike. I won't even tell you where he was patting. Hold on. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, guys. Okay, are you ready? This is the announcement. This is the winners for the Success Circle group. So remember, my Success Circle group is where I teach business owners, creative business owners, how to make more money online, selling their creative goods, marketing, learning Facebook, learning Instagram, learning how to set goals. This month we're talking about all about financing, how to set your business up, your finances up for your business. So I'm teaching you everything that I have learned for my own business. And I'm telling you, my business is a huge, huge, huge blessing to my family. So I definitely know what I'm talking about. It's definitely worked for me, and I'm telling you everything. Okay? So this is the Success Circle group. The winner is Harriet Creech. Congratulations, Harriet. Mimi Morrison. Congratulations, Mimi. And Kathy Condon. Congratulations, Kathy. So we've got a wreath maker, a soap maker, and a jewelry maker who will be coming and joining the Success Circle group. That is a year's worth of membership, and that is worth a value of $444. And then for the Wreath Making of the Month Club, now that again is a club where I teach you how to make a new wreath every month. You get a new wreath video, but then you also get a Facebook Live video. You get a list of supplies, list of vendors. I teach you all of the basics about making wreaths and then some advanced techniques. So the winners of that is Seema Sarif. Oh my gosh, I just totally messed up your name, I'm sure. Seema Sarif or Seema Sarif. And then Clarissa Vasquez and Kelly McConkey Perbs. I will spell all of this out in the message, so I know I just cannot pronounce that name. But anyway, that is a year's worth of Wreath Making of the Month Club, and that has a value of $324. And congratulations, Seema, Clarissa, and Kelly, and Harriet, Mimi, and Kathy. Congratulations, ladies. I can't wait to work with you in the new year. Again, if you guys would do me a huge favor and share this video, and that would mean the world to me. And it also tells me which videos you guys like and the ones I need to keep doing. But I want to thank you for joining me today in the wreath shop. Again, I'm Julie Samaka with Southern Charm Wreaths, and you guys have a very blessed weekend.